Next up, a recent guest of ours, the leader of the Scottish Socialist Party, Colin Fox.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Is this the cue for Grand Theft Auto? I'd like to thank Elaine for those warm words of welcome. Also wondered if you would give a right big round of applause, everybody here. A couple of people who've organised today's demonstration for us. Thank you, Jeff Duncan and Anne McMillan. Two people and one person. Thanks very much. Friends, I bring you the greetings from the Scottish Socialist Party. Proud to be part of this wonderful Yes Scotland movement, on target to deliver an almighty yes vote for independence next year. And as I stand here in front of you, advocating the case for an independent socialist Scotland, I feel the hand of history on our shoulders. Because it's maybe because you see across the road there in Carlton Cemetery, there's an obelisk. You see that great big needle that's there? That's a monument to Thomas Muir and the United Scotsmen from the time of Robert Burns, who, like us, demanded justice for ordinary people betrayed by financiers and the right to elect our own representatives and have our own government in this country. Sound familiar? And adjacent to that obelisk, just next to me here, what used to be Carlton Jail, where the great John Maclean, the Red Clydeside leader, was incarcerated 100 years ago for opposing the exploitation of British capitalism and the warmongering blood loss that's within it. And no one is surely going to deny here among us today that the spirit of John Maclean stands here beside us, beside every single one of us too. Because the great John Maclean called for an independent Scotland, one where we the people were sovereign, one where we the people were free from the oppression of the City of London, free from the political interference of Westminster, and free from the class-ridden British monarchy. And it was here on this very spot that you're standing in, October the 9th, 2004, that the Scottish Socialist Party and others organised the famous Declaration of Calton Hill, calling for a modern democratic republic for Scotland. And it was on the same day that the Queen was beneath us, opening the new Scottish Parliament at Holyrood. But friends, it's not history that drives my passion for independence most of all. It's the knowledge that Scotland's huge working class majority will be better off with independence. And I'll tell you, I can see the future from here at the top of Calton Hill. It's a future that's sharp and clear. It's a future with an independent Scotland coming yet for all that. It's a Scotland where no one is left behind. It's a Scotland where the riches of this country are shared out equally. It's a Scotland without the hated bedroom tax. Yes. It's a Scotland without the hated anti-trade union laws, the worst in Europe. It's a Scotland with full employment and a living wage for everyone, not 0-hour contracts and poverty pay. And it's a Scotland where our public services, like the Royal Mail and our gas and electricity industry, are publicly owned by the people of Scotland for the benefit of the people of Scotland. Yeah. And it's a Scotland where we, the people, are sovereign and elect our head of state. It's a Scotland admired the world over for the way it treats the vulnerable and offers shelter and freedom to those fleeing from persecution abroad. And to all Scotland today, let this question ring out from the top of Calton Hill. Now, isn't that a vision worth voting for in September next year? Yes! 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 Thank you.
Next up is Nicola Sturgeon.
Do you know how many people they're saying are here with us today? a wee straw poll. How are you voting next year?
Yes!
Sorry, I didn't catch that. How are you voting next year?
Yes!
And are we going to win?
Yes!
You know, I feel quite emotional standing here looking out at this fabulous, fantastic crowd of people. I am so deeply proud to be part of this movement. This peaceful, democratic, aspirational, inspirational movement to make our country, our small corner of this planet, equal and independent.
Yeah.
And I am so incredibly proud to think that just 1 year from today, we might be having a rest. But if we do our jobs properly over these next 12 months, we will be celebrating a historic victory in our nation's past, but a historic victory that will secure our country's future. You know, when I, as a much younger woman than I am right now, when I first marched up Calton Hill, I, with many thousands of others, was campaigning for a Scottish Parliament.
Yeah.
And you know, the voices then that told us we couldn't do it, we were too small and too poor to have a parliament of our own, are the same voices, in some respects with the same arguments, that we hear now saying no to independence. Well, do you know something? Those voices were wrong then, and those voices are wrong today. Because it is only because we have a Scottish Parliament not too far from here that we have free education. That we have a national health service safe from privatisation. That we are proud to say that universal services are not a something-for-nothing culture, they are a mark of a civilised culture and society. We have these things because we have the powers to decide them. And if we become independent, as I believe we will, then so too will we have the powers to say no to the bedroom tax. So too will we have the power to rid our country once and for all of trident weapons of mass destruction. Because it is independence that will give us that precious ability that countries the world over cherish and take for granted to build a better country, a more prosperous country and a fairer country for everybody who chooses to live here. That's why I want Scotland to be independent. You know, there are two things that drive my passion for Scottish independence. One is that we are one of the richest countries on this planet. Don't let anybody on the no side tell you Scotland cannot afford to be independent. But alongside that fabulous wealth, we are also one of the most unequal countries in the world, and that is not good enough for the Scotland we love. Independence is about ensuring that we access that wealth and make the decisions that turn this country into the fairer, more socially just country that we know it can be, that we want it to be, and that we are going to build. That is the point, the benefit of independence, and that, friends, is what we are going to win. So over these next 12 months, each and every one of us has a precious opportunity and a big responsibility. Let us give people right around this country the facts, the evidence, the answers to the questions. But let us do something else too. Let us go from here today and resolve to seek to inspire our fellow Scots, to ask them to imagine a different future, a better future, Scotland's future in Scotland's hands. Let us ask them to imagine that future, and then on the 18th of September next year to reach out and to grab that future with both hands, an independent future. Yes, we can. Yes, we will.
And the next speaker is Dennis Canavan.
Thanks, Hardeep. Since last year's event, the March and Rally, which finished at Princess Street Gardens, I've been doing a tour of Scotland on behalf of the Yes Scotland campaign. I've been travelling the length and breadth of the country, from Stornoway to Stranraer, from Kirkcaldy to Kirkwall, and not only have I been speaking to thousands of people, I have also been listening to the people. And I can tell you that there is great and widespread support throughout the country for our campaign. I know that some of the pollsters and pundits try to tell us otherwise. But let me say this, I remember saying it last year in Princess Street Gardens. This campaign is more like a marathon than a short sprint. And having run more than a few marathons in my time, I know that the runner that's ahead at the halfway stage is not necessarily the winner of the race. And I know that we have the people with the stamina, the guts, and the determination to win this campaign. I know that we're up against all the negative propaganda of the naysayers, aided and abetted by a hostile media. But I'll tell you this campaign is not going to be fought and won simply in television studios or radio stations or the columns of newspapers. This campaign is going to be fought and won within the communities of Scotland. And we have something which the opposition do not have, because they have got hardly any foot soldiers. We have an army of volunteers spread throughout every community in Scotland. And once we get these volunteers fully trained and mobilised, we are going to organise the biggest, the most comprehensive and the most successful grassroots community-based campaign that Scotland has ever seen. We're going to take our message out to every city, every town, every community, every street, every home in Scotland. And we are going to win the hearts and minds of the people of Scotland with our message. And our message is this: that it's only by voting yes in next year's referendum